The magnitude, you can always quibble. Chhattisgarh, again, 9 out of 10 polls I've seen have given it directionally to the Congress. Telangana, again, directionally, most of these polls seem to be giving it to the Congress. I would be very, very surprised if there is a change of direction. The change of magnitude, the degree of victory, degree of loss, that is something that, of course, you can't fault exit pollsters for that. But if there's a change of direction, suddenly, let's say the BRS holds on to Telangana, or the Congress manages to hold on to Rajasthan, I think that would be a surprise. That would be something that would really confound not just the exit pollsters, but people who are generally interested in elections. So for me, I think what I'm more interested in is, have the exit pollsters got the direction right, but the magnitude, okay, here and there, 10-20 upar niche, but the direction needs to be right, and I think that's the most important.
10-20 ऊपर नीचे हर स्टेट में खेल बच सकता है जाका राहुल. If you take out the outliers, some experts believe सब जगह मामला फंस रहा है. Every state it could be a tight fight.
Look, in a previous avatar, I've dealt with at least 4 exit posters. And you're talking about outliers? Liars. Anyhow, the point is, I have burnt my fingers several times. But the point is that, look, for me, in this particular election, I think it's more than just building up tactical momentum to 2024. I think this is an election really about proving certain strategies that have been deployed. And the fundamental thing that the BJP is banking on is Prime Minister Modi. Very unusually, for a state election, Prime Minister is asking for votes in his own name.
Modi ki guarantee.
Modi ki guarantee, and he's gone out there, and we played a soundbite yesterday, and he says, when you press the Kamal, you are actually pressing it for me. So, well, this is a big gambit, and it tells you that if it pays off, then the opposition has a problem, because they don't have a leader that has pan-national appeal like Mr. Modi, and they don't want to get into a presidential fight. I mean, Nalin will bear me out on this, but in 2024, they don't want to get into a presidential contest. They want to talk about everything but Mr. Modi. But Mr. Modi has insinuated himself into this contest, and I think it's going to have, and that's why I think the exit pollsters are actually hedging their bets, because after all, when Mr. Modi comes in, and just give me a second, because I just want to point out a couple of statistics, since you said I've made a lot of notes.
Sure.
Just look at the Modi factor.
You usually make a lot of notes, but this one is like.
Yeah. So here are the white ones. Okay, I have the pink ones.
The
pink ones. Okay, so listen to this. Because the Rajasthan Modi factor, how is it played? In 2018, the Brahmins 45% voted for the BJP, 26 Jats, OBC 46%, tribals 40%. 2019, when Mr. Modi was on the ticket, the 45 Brahmins went to 82%, Jats from 26 to 85, OBC 46 to 72%, tribals 40 to 55%.
ऐसे बैठना वो टॉप एंगल से जरा नोट्स दिखा दे हमारे व्यूअर्स को, ये सही में लिख के लाए हैं. That camera that's going up, it's going to just pan down a little, and we're going to see the notes right, Rahul. वही रखे टेबल पर बॉल पे.
मतलब अच्छे बच्चे जो फ्रंट बेंच पे बैठते हैं.
Notes, he got highlighted. He's highlighted the pink, and then just keep it there. Just keep it there.
You're embarrassing with my.
Look, he's not fibbing. Yeah? Okay.
So look, but the one thing that one really needs to look out for in Rajasthan, since you brought it up, and I think it's a state that if it goes with the Congress, this is going to be a big leg up for the Congress party.
Oh yeah, no, it's not just a leg up. It's a historical bucking the trend.
Exactly.
Rajasthan has alternately voted BJP and Congress for the last 30 years.
So the Congress,
it's a big thing.
Mr. Gehlot has taken a huge gamble. What has he done? Absolutely. He's come out and said 6% additional quota for MBCs. Now, this can have two types of effects. It can consolidate the OBC votes in the favor of the Congress, the tribals and the Dalits, but it can also go the other way, because it could consolidate some of the upper castes, it could consolidate the Jats against
Ashok Gehlot. Now, before we bring our in-house guests on board, ladies and gentlemen, quickly telling you, there's a lot of tech and there is a lot of information that we're going to have on Result Day Live. Now, these two cameras belong to Zakir Jacob, and these are robotic cameras that are focused. Focused. No, they're focused. What I mean is they're focused on the magic wall and on Zaka. So that's where you're seeing everything. There's no camera. This is technology. Now, this is robotic cameras. Beyond that, on the other side, that big wall, beautiful wall that you see in our brand new studio, that's the leaderboard. Now, this is the leaderboard that we have. With all the states being tracked, the states whose results will be announced today. their results will be tracked. So we will keep this on constantly, and jahan jiska kismat jiske chamak rahi hai, you will see that color. So if it is Madhya Pradesh, it's supposed to go to the BJP, then it will be Shivraj, otherwise it will be replaced with Kamal Nath. Rajasthan, when you've seen Rani Sahiba doing the temple round, so we'll put her picture. We don't know what's going to happen. And Chhattisgarh and of course Telangana. But Mizoram, the election commission decided they're not going to.
Madhya Pradesh, you're going to put Kamal Nath, who hasn't been declared by their party as the chief minister.
No, so Rani Sahiba has also not been declared. So we're putting it. So we're just going to say that who are the faces for the campaign for the respective parties, we'll put their faces there. BRS, we may just not see KCR there, and it may be Revant Reddy. Well, what a surprise there. Now to the lady and the gentleman along with Zaka. Your thoughts after you've deep dived into the exit poll numbers. Are they liars, outliers, or do you feel that the results will vary from when counting
comes? I'm confused as hell, and I mean, if I can use that word on camera, on live TV. And I would also like to say that for many years, I really don't go by exit polls as much as I go by just traditional journalists who've made the rounds, done the campaign trail. Somehow they kind of find a distillation of the common wisdom of the electorate and comes back. So,
are you a limousine journalist? Because that won't work.
I drive a Swift.
So you got your
limo liberal. You missed the second part.
Limo liberal. I didn't want to go so
I'm a liberal, but I drive a Swift.
I didn't want to call her out on her politics, but certainly her
I'm a
limousine
liberal, but I drive a Swift. I can put it down to that.
Yeah.
But I do depend on colleagues who have travelled and do convey. So I still find it a very difficult thing to say that BJP may not win Rajasthan or that it may win Madhya Pradesh.
No, but you went to Madhya Pradesh, right?
I did go to Madhya Pradesh.
What did you sense?
And what I went within 2-month intervals of this thing. And the first time that I went was just after Ladli Behna had been launched, and I had interviewed the chief minister at that time. And at that time, the entire party apparatus was quite down in the dumps. The party workers and cadres were unenthused, and there was a very strong feeling that, okay, time to pack up and let's leave.
Okay.
The party leadership in Delhi basically told me that we have only this Ladli Behna platform for us, plus the fear that if the Congress comes to power, what will happen to our Vyavastha?
Yeah.
Whoever comes to power within the party, any leader from BJP is fine, because whatever it is, the system is ours. But if somebody from the Congress comes and Congress comes back to power, then the party workers will have to think again what will happen to them. So I found that the second time that I went, the enthusiasm levels were a little up. I think there was a little fear that if after 18 years party is out of power, what will happen? Will there be some sort of a political vindictiveness? Kaam kaun karwayega hamare? All of those things were there. So at least the cadre was hitting the ground. And I think most exit polls are predicating this Madhya Pradesh thing swing towards the BJP because the women's vote has gone up.
Yeah, we come to that women vote factor in just a bit. Quickly, just bringing up, it's about numbers. Result Day Live, it's about numbers. So we've got to show off again. Alexa is back at work, and this is an award-winning graphics team that's working in the back end, ladies and gentlemen. So kudos to them. Every time they've put up something, they've walked away with the accolades. Even now, they've got some fresh accolades in their kitty. So congratulations to them in advance. Now let's look at the poll of polls or the multi-poll of polls. What does it say? Largely, the indication here is that the BJP should take it, and if you were to look at the outliers and also some of the others, even if you look at Matriz, if you look at Polstrat or even Jan Ki Baat, everybody, in fact there are three, if there are three pollsters who are giving 150 plus, then you can't call them outliers. That means that there is a clear difference and it's not a close election like it was back in 2018. That's what it looks like, 116 to win, and it looks like the BJP will perhaps many of them internally believe they will do their best ever. 2003, they will beat that 2003 number of around 140, that at that time 140 or 142 if my memory serves me right. They believe that they will do better than that. That's what they believe. Zaka, Abhijit and of course Nalin Mehta, money control mein hai nahi, wo baad mein puchenge, vote control mein hai ki nahi BJP ke?
So I think I kind of agree with Nistula and Rahul both. See, the important thing in this election is I think the stakes are much higher for the Congress than for the BJP. Simply because historically, if you see these elections, and I think the bigger picture here is it's like people call it a semi-final before the Lok Sabha election in 2024 and so on. The bigger picture here is that historically, these election results have not had that much of an impact on the Lok Sabha election. In 2013, for example, BJP lost all these states and it swept 3 of them in Lok Sabha in 2024, right? So in that sense, I don't think we should see too much for 2024. But why it's important for Congress is that if they win 3 of 4 or all 4 or 3 or even 2 and importantly Telangana, then they're going to have their tails up, then they're going to have momentum. At a time when Rahul Gandhi has had some kind of a resurrection, they've just won Karnataka. So it'll enthuse the opposition a great deal and make them believe that they can give the BJP a real run for the money in 2024. On the other hand, for the BJP, I think what's really at stake is not so much the victory, but the cadre coming together and as some kind of a dress rehearsal, if you like. For example, if you can. The exit polls are showing a victory for the BJP in Madhya Pradesh against the grain. Now, 3 months ago, everybody was saying the BJP is out of the game, right?
Yeah.
It was going to be a Congress victory 3 or 4
70
months
80
back.
सीटें भी नहीं मिलेंगी.
seats.
Yeah.
They said 70-80 सीटें भी BJP को नहीं मिलने वाली. That's what they were saying 3.5 months ago.
Irrespective of who wins, if it's a close election in Madhya Pradesh, then what you are saying is that despite 20 years of anti-incumbency, the party machinery is so strong on the ground that you've still given a strong fight after 20 years of incumbency in a state election. Imagine what that will do in the Lok Sabha election.
So let's dwell on the Modi and the Mahila factor with Zaka on the wall. And Zaka, if you can juxtapose the unprecedented Mahila voter turnout with the close fight that Madhya Pradesh has been, the 2018 numbers, vote share differences, etc.
So let's talk about the Mahila factor. We've talked about this in earlier programs as well. There are almost 18.5 lakh women voters, new women voters as compared to the 2018 poll, who have come out, who have turned out and voted this time around. Whether they have voted for Ladli Behna favouring the BJP or whether they have voted for the Congress guarantees, we don't know. But the number of women voters is substantially higher. This is almost 2% of the entire voter turnout in this election. 2.41 crore, the entire number of women who turned up, as opposed to, that was in 2018. This time around, there's been 2.72 crore.
So can I almost add one point of context to this?
Yeah.
In the last election, 6% more female voters voted for the BJP over and above male voters. So the male voter tally was 44%.
Yeah.
Female voter tally for BJP was 50%. So they got 1 out of 2 women to vote for them. The Congress had 40%, 10% less.
Yeah.
Female votes.
Again, in this, 18 lakh plus new women voters who've been added in the 2023 election, like I said, if a bulk of these women are voting for the BJP, that means the BJP already has a 2% sort of starting gap with the Congress. That 2% extra is going to the BJP if they are voting for Ladli Behna. So that's
10%. Zaka, if you look at the last election, it's a 10% gap
Yeah.
that the Congress will have to
you're
make
basically saying
up.
12% there.
12%.
10% plus 2.
That is if these 2% have voted.
Of course, entirely for the BJP.
Let's take it as 1% because 1 and 2. So let's assume that.
Anyway, so that's the women factor.
No, but in 2018, what was the vote share gap between the two? If this 2%, how critical does that become?
No, in fact, in
the
2018,
Vidhan Sabha
the
level?
BJP had a greater
dead heat.
vote share
Yeah.
than the Congress. In fact, the BJP had something like 0.13%, more than the Congress. But the Congress had more number of seats. It had 114. BJP had 109, despite the fact that the BJP had 0.13% more. That is because there were a large number of tight fights. And I'm just going to show you that because you asked me that, Anand. The number of tight fights that we saw in 2018, more than 30 constituencies in 2018, that's more than 10%. The Congress again had a lower vote share, the BJP had a higher vote share, but the Congress got more of those tight fights. Now this is less than 3,000 votes, 30 constituencies, Congress won 15 of them and the BJP won 14. Now why these are important is because these are spread across the state. There are a few here in the Gwalior-Chambal region, there are a few here in the Malwa region, there are a few here in Vindhyachal. So the problem is that, it's not concentrated in one region or two. And Madhya Pradesh, remember, is 6 different regions and they could vote very, very differently. For example, Gwalior-Chambal went predominantly with the Congress last time around, 26 out of 31. The Mahakaushal region, again, went largely with the Congress last time around. Where the BJP managed to sort of save itself was in the central part of the state and, of course, in the extreme eastern part of the state. That's where the BJP saved itself. But I think for me, and this is why the exit pollsters I am a little more skeptical about the exit pollsters when it comes to Madhya Pradesh because of these tight fights. If the BJP wins an overwhelming number of this 30, let's say they're winning 25 out of 30 or 20 out of 30, then this is a wave election. Then the exit pollsters numbers
and
are
just
true.
a quick point on that Gwalior region that you're
belt,
talking about. There's also a peculiar problem there.
The Sindhya Tomar aspect.
Yes, so the old guard versus the new guard, will that chemistry work? The maths might, but the chemistry,
Well,
anyone's guess.
the example there is that
Yeah,
if the by-elections, please, and Abhijit,
I want to add a number to what Rahul was saying on the chemistry, on the old guard versus the new guard in the BJP. Before the defection of Jyotiradittya Scindia, about 50% of the ministers in Shivraj Singh Chauhan's government had an RSS or a bona fide RSS or linked background. After these guys came on board, that number went down to 26%. Because a lot of the people were removed and these seats were given to the Congress defectors.
Correct.
Now, some of them have now gone back. But you know, in this region, these are people who spend their lives fighting the BJP and the BJP fighting them. Now certainly they are on the BJP side. So that created a lot of problem on the ground.
Yeah, but there has been some water under the bridge since that happened, and then the by-elections have happened, and now was that the reason why Narendra Tomar was also sent into that region?
Well, and don't
saying
forget,
that rather than sitting somewhere else and orchestrating some diffusion there, you go there and ensure that there is a.
So you know what I find really interesting in this is that every major BJP heavyweight in Madhya Pradesh has been deployed to fight the election, right? From ministers to MPs. Jyotiradittya Scindia, who's a minister, has not been deployed. He's campaigned, but he's not been made to contest. I find that really interesting.
No, but perhaps
well, that's because they obviously don't want him as the chief minister, and they don't even want to put that message out there.
No, somewhere I think it is. The message has been very clear the moment he became union minister and he was moved up that his focus is now going to be at the center,
just
and the
in
state
case,
would be somewhere else.
Because in Assam, you suddenly saw, a movement towards somebody who came from outside because of a larger number of factors. But here, of course,
correct. But the HBS Sarbananda Sonowal equation is different because HBS was home minister for a long while at the first term.
The one point that we forget, Madhya Pradesh has seen the highest voter turnout in its history.
Correct.
(6,000 acres of prime land, set against the backdrop of breathtaking Himalayas, offering a unique blend of ease of doing business, world-class infrastructure, and a cost-friendly ecosystem. This is the emerging epicenter of pharmaceuticals, Uttarakhand. With over 300 leading global pharmaceutical units, led by the Pharma City at Silakui Industrial Area, this land promises the best infrastructural facility along with the government ensuring capital subsidy, easy credits, cheap electricity, abundant water along with the best talent to employ.
We are getting the rebates from the government, single window system and the other regulatory mechanism which is very supportive.
Come, join the club of 5,000 plus investors participating in Uttarakhand Global Investors Summit.
मम्मी कॉलेज की क्रिकेट टीम में ना मेरा सिलेक्शन हो गया है। वेरी गुड।
कॉलेज की टीम में तो आ गया, देश की टीम में रजिस्ट्रेशन कब करवा रहा है?
वो कैसे?
तुम वोटर बन के देश की टीम का हिस्सा बन सकते हो। देश का फॉर्म भरो, देश की टीम का हिस्सा बनो। वोट करना सिर्फ तुम्हारा अधिकार ही नहीं बल्कि तुम्हारा कर्तव्य भी है, समझे? जी हाँ, अगर आप भी 18 साल के हो रहे हैं तो आज ही वोटर हेल्पलाइन ऐप डाउनलोड करके वोटर लिस्ट में अपना नाम जुड़वाकर वोटर बने। और हाँ, एग्जिस्टिंग वोटर्स भी अपनी जानकारी वोटर लिस्ट में अपडेट करें, जिससे देश की टीम और मजबूत बने। वोटर लिस्ट में नाम मतलब देश के लिए वोट करने का अधिकार, यानी देश की टीम में रजिस्ट्रेशन।
मोदी सरकार की गारंटी, भारत होगा गरीबी मुक्त। 5 सालों में 13 करोड़ 50 लाख लोगों को गरीबी से बाहर निकाला। हमारा संकल्प, विकसित भारत।
India has developed due to its strong pharma sector. It is delivering best quality medicines and pharma products worldwide. The reasons behind this are highly educated and specialized scientists of the country, established manufacturing base, and the policies and support made by the central government. Even during the Corona period, India delivered crores of vaccination shots to more than 100 countries. Looking at the stable growth of the last 10 years, it is estimated that by 2024, the market size of the pharma sector in India will be $65 billion. And by 2030, India can become the world's largest pharmaceutical supplier. And this is the resolution of Viksit Bharat Yatra.
Hello, Moto. Hello, Moto.
Result day live counting is going to get underway in in some time. So before we get Abhijit Majumdar talking, let's shift focus and quickly cover Rajasthan. Now, what's the story in Rajasthan? And Abhijit, you lead this conversation. Quickly look at the multipolar polls. And again, there are a few pollsters who have swung the Congress way, few pollsters who have swung the BJP way. There is an outlier, and largely everybody believes ye phasega. 199 seats में मामला फंसेगा, nobody has run away, but largely many in BJP are saying that they will have a return of the 2013 fortunes, that they will go beyond at least the 125-130 mark even if they don't touch 165. The Rani Sahiba factor, will it come into play? Today's Chanakya 89, today's Chanakya gives it to Congress, but PMARC, ETG and Axis My India are hedging their bets. Matriz is giving it to the BJP. And CNX is giving it to the Congress, C-Voter is giving it to the Congress. So PMARC, ETG giving it to the BJP, Matriz giving it to the BJP, Axis My India says phasega. That's what it looks like, with Congress with its nose ahead, but phasega. C and C-Voter are saying कि Congress लेके जा रही है.
The extreme numbers, it's a win for the Congress.
It's a win for the Congress. But Abhijit Majumdar, is there a twist in this story? Because on ground, in Rajasthan, is there a sentiment that is beyond just the political dynamics and critical belts which moved away from the BJP the last time around, the Gujar belt, Kota and some of the other areas, will they come back to the BJP this time?
See, what is confounding about the rest of the states, it's the same with Rajasthan. Rajasthan, because the reports that we have been getting from, say, Madhya Pradesh or Rajasthan or even Chhattisgarh, the exit polls do not seem to sort of match up to that. Rajasthan is actually the election for the BJP to take, because Hindutva politics is at play. I mean, it has been a cauldron of communal violence right from Kanhaiyalal's beheading to at least about 2-3 dozen riots all across Rajasthan, from Alwar to Jodhpur to Jaipur. So it's a fit case for the BJP's Hindutva politics to sort of take over, and it usually does well. But which is why the exit poll results are a little sort of.
It should have been a runaway victory for the BJP.
Should have been.
But Rani Sahiba not being named, has that played a factor in trying to pull the BJP back, peg the BJP back in the exit pollsters' predictions?
Certainly, there were.
Although many say that Rani Sahiba's candidates have got tickets. Yeah.
Many rebels from the BJP side this time in the fray. And I wanted to actually know how many of the independents are, the others category also will make a difference, I think, in Rajasthan. But what is most important in the Rajasthan thing and away from the exit polls is that if there is a, very marginal sort of victory for the BJP in Rajasthan, then, there's a problem for the High Command in Delhi. And if Ashok Gehlot wins Rajasthan, bucking the trend, then again for the Congress High Command, there'll be a problem. because, you know, there has been a lot of humiliation that had been doled out by Mr. Gehlot to the Congress High Command when they wanted him to fight the Congress president's election and he didn't, and there was this kind of a revolt from the party MLAs. The current party president had gone as an observer there, and the MLAs just refused to meet him. And Mr. Gehlot saved his chair there.
Correct.
And he fought hard to get seats for some of those MLAs this time. So if he wins, then it's actually cocking a steel cap.
Has Sachin Pilot.
And a lot of these independents are also supported by Mr. Gehlot.
Yeah. Right.
So that's and let me tell you, there is
That is
a unspoken consensus between the party in opposition as well as the party incumbent, where you don't actually pay much heed to the independents. There's an agreement, and that's the reason why, even when there have been independents who have been trying to sort of, no one picks them up and does things with them.
Correct.
So there's an understanding there.
Understanding there, but there is also some understanding with core BJP voters that in certain cases, just to defeat the Congress, they have actually voted the independent because they didn't like the BJP candidate.
20% of voters.
So those stories too. More stories on the magic wall on Rajasthan. Plus, we will quickly cover Chhattisgarh and Telangana as the clock is ticking for the ballot boxes to be open. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break. Stay with us.
Co-powered by Motorola, India's best 5G smartphone brand. In association with Join ICL, Grow With Us, Polymer Tech, The Photonics People, and Epson EcoTank Printers. Join the Eco Revolution.
6,000 acres of prime land, set against the backdrop of breathtaking Himalayas, offering a unique blend of ease of doing business, world-class infrastructure, and a cost-friendly ecosystem. This is the emerging epicenter of pharmaceuticals, Uttarakhand. With over 300 leading global pharmaceutical units, led by the Pharma City at Silakui Industrial Area, this land promises the best infrastructural facility along with the government ensuring capital subsidy, easy credits, cheap electricity, abundant water along with the best talent to employ.
We are getting the rebates from the government, single window system, and the other regulatory mechanism which is, you know, very supportive.
Come, join the club of 5,000 plus investors participating in Uttarakhand Global Investors Summit.
Please stand away from the door.
If these doors had not opened, then many doors would have been closed. Metro has opened the doors of India's development, making the journey of thousands of people to school, college and office easier. Metro has become the first choice of transport for everyone. Metro, which has become the new identity of young India, has now become a faster, safer, reliable and economical mode of transport than ever before. It is the result of the efforts of the central government that the metro rail network has increased from 5 to 20 cities in the country. Metro makes people's journey convenient, saves both time and money, and now the metro network is increasing rapidly all over the country. People's first choice metro has now become a means of last mile connectivity to reach railway stations, airports and bus terminals.
मोदी सरकार की गारंटी, महिलाओं के लिए धुआं मुक्त रसोई, प्रधानमंत्री उज्ज्वला योजना के तहत 10 करोड़ गैस कनेक्शन। हमारा संकल्प विकसित भारत।
6,000 acres of prime land, set against the backdrop of breathtaking Himalayas, offering a unique blend of ease of doing business, world-class infrastructure, and a cost-friendly ecosystem. This is the emerging epicenter of pharmaceuticals, Uttarakhand. With over 300 leading global pharmaceutical units, led by the Pharma City at Silakui Industrial Area, this land promises the best infrastructural facility along with the government ensuring capital subsidy, easy credits, cheap electricity, abundant water along with the best talent to employ.
We are getting the rebates from the government, single window system, and the other regulatory mechanism which is, you know, very supportive.
Come, join the club of 5,000 plus investors participating in Uttarakhand Global Investors Summit.
Hello, Moto. Hello, Moto.
Welcome back to our special Result Day live coverage, and we're talking about Rajasthan, and we were just having that discussion about whether the BJP can afford to sideline or ignore Rani Sahiba Vasundhara Raje Scindia. So let's talk about the Raje factor. The Raje factor is dominant in about 40 odd seats, 42 seats as far as the state of Rajasthan is concerned. The Congress last time, again, it was almost neck and neck in an election which the Congress had its nose slightly ahead and eventually went on to, wrest power in 2018. 21 seats went to the Congress and 19 seats to the BJP. Why this is important is this entire belt. This is Kota, Jalawar, south of Udaipur, this entire southern belt, which is important. The Rajput factor, the Raje factor is important there as well. And then there is this whole Marwar belt, which is Jodhpur, Jaisalmer, Bikaner, the entire what they call the Rajput belt, which is important. A lot of those seats the Congress managed to win last time around in 2018. But if you go and check in 2013, those 40 odd seats, the BJP had a dominant performance, 33-6. So basically, the BJP had more than 5 times the number of seats that the Congress had, and that was because Vasundhara Raje was the challenger. She was the one who was challenging Gehlot, and she came to power in 2013. This time around, the BJP has not declared her. Will that be a factor? Will the BJP be able to negate the Raje factor in all of these areas, the Marwar region, the region around Kota, Jhalawar, that belt? Whether or not that happens, I think that's going to be a critical factor, because if the Rajputs come back to the BJP the way in which they did in 2013, then this is going to be a swing election. This is going to be a complete wave election. But if they don't, because she has not been named, neither has any other Rajput candidate been named as the chief ministerial face. Of course, there's Gajendra Shekhawat, there are a whole bunch of other Rajput faces, but none of them have been officially named by the BJP. How will the Rajputs swing? I think that's a critical factor in Rajasthan.
The Gujar factor, pilot and those areas, last time around the BJP didn't win much. This time around, how much of an impact will that happen?
So let's look at the pilot factor. Now, the difference is, this is a different region of Rajasthan. If you look at this belt, this is eastern Rajasthan, Bharatpur, Tijara, Ajmer, Dausa, Tonk, all the way to some parts of rural Jaipur as well. The Congress got massive gains in this Gujar-dominated belt. And Rahul was talking about the backward caste politics, right? Because this entire election has been about OBC and caste census. The Gujars in Rajasthan are considered backward castes. So will the Gujars back the Congress the way they did last time around? BJP had just 4. Congress had 27. This time it is said, in fact the Prime Minister referred to it, Amit Shah referred to it, that Sachin Pilot was shortchanged last time around. Therefore the Gujars should vote for the BJP. We'll have to wait and see if there is a massive swing of the Gujars away from the Congress towards the BJP, because if there is, then again, this is going to be a wave election. This is not going to be a close election in Rajasthan.
Let's shift focus quickly, ladies and gentlemen, to the state where at least the BJP believes ki phasega aur phasega to khich lenge. Whereas on the other hand, Bhupesh Baghel, as far as the exit pollsters and the poll of polls is concerned, seems to be comfortably retaining his position, although a massive slide for the Congress party compared to 2018, when they actually toppled Raman Singh there. So let's look at the multi-poll of polls and what the pollsters are actually saying and how they are putting the numbers in place. Jan Ki Baat very clearly giving the mandate to the Congress party. Axis My India again leaning towards the Congress party, but they are hedging their bets. If this 36-40 and 46-50 kind of number of Axis happens, that means that this is a tight fight. Ye phasega. Aur agar phas gaya, then who takes the glory? That will be a big one. Resort politics or what happens there. CNX says it's Congress. C Voter says it's Congress. Matri says it's Congress. Today's Chanakya says clearly Congress, comfortably Congress. And ETG also saying that very, very comfortably Congress. 46 to win is the state. Do you believe that Bhupesh Baghel will return this kind of purchase, although there are massive gains for the BJP compared to 2018? So there is anti-incumbency, but not as much to topple Bhupesh Baghel. Nalin, Rahul?
Well, I think it's going to be a very tight election, to be very honest. There are a lot of swing seats here, lot of tight contests, even though the seat differentials are huge. But actually, if you really look at the numbers, you have a bit of a problem. And a swing, a minor swing, can change fortunes very easily. But the question is, does the BJP have that cadre right now to actually capitalize on anti-incumbency if there is? Now remember, here also the Hindutva card was played effectively by the Prime Minister himself. First he said, Mahadev ko bhi nahi choda. When he actually married corruption with the
betting
app. So corruption in that betting app with Hindutva politics, with identity politics. So whether that is connected or not, we don't know. There is also, of course, an interesting figure that I want to point out. And this is an interesting one only because you will understand where the BJP lacks here and how much it has to really pick up. The BJP has won no seat with a big 15% plus vote share margin ever. And there are a number of seats that the BJP has not bagged at all. Even though it was in power for a large number of years since the inception of the state before Mr. Baghel. So you actually have a problem here at the ground level. You don't have an engine to match the single engine of Mr. Modi. You don't have that double fix.
The double engine despite Raman Singh. So let's look at the magic wall, 2 phases. Which are those seats where the BJP has not made inroads and which perhaps will shoulder the Congress?
I think this election in Chhattisgarh depends on the first phase. And the first phase is the Naxal affected phase. This is the Bastar, Dantewada phase. And out of the 20 seats, the Congress last time won 17. The BJP won just 2. In fact, in that Naxal belt, the southern part of Chhattisgarh, they just won 1 seat. So if this trend continues, and if you go back and check in 2018, now remember, this has always been a strong phase for the Congress. If you go back and check in 2013, when Raman Singh got his 3rd term, the BJP did not better the Congress in these 20 seats. They got 8, the Congress got 12, but the gap was much more narrow. The BJP in this southern belt had about 5 seats out of the 20 there. The issue is for the BJP, if they start winning again in the Naxal affected seats, then yes, this is going to be a BJP victory. This is going to be a state that is much closer. But if you're going to see a similar trend in these 20 seats where the Congress runs away with it, and generally they say, in multi-phase elections, हवा जिस तरफ जा रही है एक phase के बाद उसी तरफ जाएगी. Unless something really dramatic happens, like it happened in Bihar. In 2020, where the Hawa itself
so you're
changed.
Saying there could be a knock-on from Madhya Pradesh. Is that what?
No. I'm saying there could be a knock-on from the first phase of elections. The first phase, which is the Naxal-affected seats, where the Congress won big last time around, and the margin is also pretty big. Even if they lose, let's say 2 or 3 seats here, they still have 15, and the BJP's upside is just 5. The BJP has to win big in these constituencies in southern.
In fact, Zaka, 15 to 20% vote share, the Congress won 16 seats. And between 20 and 30 vote share, they won 14 seats. So about, do the math on that, 30 seats have come with vote shares more than 15%. So the other parts of the state.
Of course, that's in 2018 where there were 3 terms of anti-incumbency and, anger against Raman Singh and so on. So some of that might get negated. But really for me, the challenge for the BJP is this belt. If they narrow the gap with the Congress in this belt, then they will make up in the rest of the state.
But on ground, we'll have to watch out for this. Is there such a level of anti-incumbency that the Congress will slip from 68 to say a 40 or of 38, that they will lose 30 seats and the BJP will move up significantly to get past the halfway mark and to get 46?
As Rahul just said, the swing needed is very little in most seats. And in 2018, Congress won, I think, 25 of the 29 ST seats, the tribal seats. Congress won 25, where BJP had, a fair bit of control, if not a lot more than Congress, but they had.
So let me just put that number into perspective, because viewers must have just heard you and said, but the gap in these seats is so much. Why is Rahul Shivshankar saying that there is a swing factor here? The reason is, Chhattisgarh Plains region has the most swing seats. Over 4 elections, 30% of the seats were won by less than 5% margin. So we are looking at history here, not perhaps what could have been an outlier election last year. So if you really look at the broad time span, then there are a large number of these seats which have changed hands with less than 5%, and 97 seats across 4 elections by between just 5 and 10% margin. So there's a huge number of seats that actually change hands.
See, the Draupadi Murmu factor, the Santhal factor, a lot of things that have been done for the STs, security that's been given, all that, will that actually resonate, or is the state actually just thinking, what is the rate per quintal for rice? That's being offered.
So I think the problem for the BJP in Chhattisgarh is, so look, there has been a larger tribal politics by the BJP, like you mentioned with the president and so on, and there has been at a national level for sure a massive shift in the tribal vote from the Congress to the BJP for the last 6-7 years. But in Chhattisgarh in particular, in local contests, I think the problem for BJP is that it does not have a pan-state leader, which they need. In Rajasthan, they have leaders. In Madhya Pradesh, they have leaders. In Chhattisgarh, after the Raman Singh ruled for 10 years, and after that, the BJP has been fairly leaderless at the state level. Yeah. And that is a problem for the BJP.
And who is this tribal face of the BJP? I mean, I don't know any tribal face of the BJP.
And they were also confused through these 5 years, because I tracked their thinking. First they said, okay, let's try and get somebody, from the tribal communities and prop them up. Then they said, no, we will go with the OBC face. So then they started pushing forward an OBC face. So they were also extremely confused through these 5 years.
Will the BJP gain from the Congress's internal squabbles? The last time around, a lot of the T.S. Singh Deo, Raja Saab belt actually backed him, thinking he will be chief minister. This time they said largely it was Baghel fighting the election, not T.S. Singh Deo. Although Mr. T.S. Singh Deo that day came and said, no, we've been trying to quash this and we've had no acrimony between each other. That's what he told us when he spoke with us here at News 18. So,
even Tamradhwaj Sahu, I think, the Sahu community is about 12% in Chhattisgarh. So they now know that if Congress comes back, Baghel is again going to be the CM. There is no hope for their candidate. So the Sahus, there is talk that the Sahus may vote for BJP.
Swing away.
Larger
12% is a lot of votes.
12 numbers is a percent is a lot of vote.
Well, there's a Sarva Adivasi Samaj. That's the precise reason why they've entered this election. And that could also have a little effect on the ground. So the AAP is also a player. Of course, not many seats, but this particular Samaj, this particular grouping, they have actually infiltrated this election to campaign for tribal rights. And let's see.
But whose vote will they eat into? Will they eat into Congress's vote, or will they eat into the BJP's?
That's the million-dollar question.
Largely, you would look at the incumbent being challenged, and if there is anti-incumbency, if there is a pro-incumbency, then but the voter turnout has been high, so you don't even know how to read that.
Hello, Moto.
Jake Offenhartz. I'm a reporter with the Associated Press in New York. Representative George Santos has just been expelled from the U.S. House of Representatives. Santos previously survived 2 expulsion votes. He did not survive this one after more than 2/3 of the body voted to expel him.
George, are you prepared to leave if you...
opportunity to emerge as a principal opposition, especially after the Hyderabad civic polls. The results will decide how we deliberate, but so far as we look at the poll of polls, does it look like this could be another south of the Vindhyas big ticket for the Congress party to push a revival story, a resurgence story? If they retain Chhattisgarh, take Telangana, it's 2-2 out of the big 4 states. How does that mean and what does that work? Let's just quickly deep dive with Zaka and then to Rahul and
bring up the vote share numbers, because that's easier to predict for an exit pollster, not so much the seats. The vote share to seat share conversion is a very a game fraught with risk. But in the vote share, the ones who are predicting a big Congress victory are giving a big vote share difference between Congress and BRS. This is a 6% vote difference. This again, Axis My India, is again a 6% vote difference. If Congress has to win this state, it needs this kind of a vote share difference, because if it is a 38-39 or a 42-43, then Congress will not win this state because, and we've talked about this, the whole Hyderabad problem, the 20 seats in Hyderabad where the Congress in the last 2 elections has only won 1, and the BRS and the MIM have won a bulk of it, anywhere between 15 to 17. So the Congress is starting inherently with a disadvantage of 20 seats. So it's basically fighting 100 seats, and to win 100, I mean, if 60 is the halfway mark, you need to win 6 out of 10 seats that you're fighting. That is a fairly big number. You can only win 6 out of 10 if the vote share difference is 6%, 5% plus. Otherwise, you're not going to win that state. So I would tend to imagine that if the Congress is winning the state, as most of the exit pollsters are saying, then the vote share has to be in excess of 4, 5, 6%. Otherwise, the Congress won't be able to win this.
Just quick point for the BJP, 19% at Lok Sabha, 19.69 Lok Sabha. If a lot of pollsters are saying double-digit vote share, they've done a decent job of retaining some of the Lok Sabha votes, because they had only 7% vote share in 202018.
But they didn't build on the moment.
They're not necessarily
just quickly, Zaka, if you want to just
the problem, they say, Bihar was the classic example. You have to cross that threshold of 23-24%. Right. That's when you start converting share into seats. At 14, 15, 20%, you're not converting share into seats.
No, I'm looking at it from the Lok Sabha point of view.
Who are you hitting?
No, from the Lok Sabha point of view.
If you're saying that the Congress needs to cover, 10 to 12%, then there's a problem.
From the Lok Sabha point of view, if the BJP moved from 7 to 19.69 to move from 14 to 28-29% vote share means conversion of seats in Telangana for the Lok Sabha. That's where I'm trying to come from the BJP's point of view. BRS Congress is a very interesting conversation, so please take it forward. As far as Hyderabad is concerned, you have the Hyderabad on the wall also, so then Rahul, you can lead this once he calls up Hyderabad.
And correct me if I'm wrong, what I don't understand really is what is the Congress actually promising? So is this going to be an election where there is a negative incumbency vote, or is the Congress actually winning this state? I think that's the fundamental question we have to ask ourselves, because what the Congress is promising exactly what KCR has done, except for a few more percentages on certain things. So I'm really not understanding why the voter, just academic question, why the voter would go for the Congress when it's basically promising the same incentives.
But it's a completely different set of people. You see, when you are in a political system, there are relationships between the people and their representative, etc. You find in anti-incumbency a lot of local arrogance, arrogance shown by the local leader or the inability to reach the leader to express your issues. That becomes a huge issue. So you say, okay, just remove them.
MLAs, right?
Yeah, so they just want that, we'll just vote this guy out. The next guy will probably listen to us. Number two, I don't think KCR has been able to manage expectations extremely well. There are a lot of good programs, welfare programs, dole programs that were done by this BRS government, some of which have been emulated by the central government, especially after the 2018 elections. But even now there is rural distress, there's unemployment, and from what I heard from BRS people, they were very confident about their election management. And but they said that they were worried about the fact that voting percentages in urban areas were low, and voting percentages in rural areas where they faced anti-incumbency, the heat of it, have been quite high.
Right. I want to add something to what Nistula is saying. In Telangana, one of the reasons why the BJP became big or became the challenger until recently and now is not, was because, see, what Nistula is saying is that when a party is in power for so long, the BJP attracted a snowball effect of people, not for ideological reasons, but because it was the one party that was seen to be able to beat the TRS. The moment the BJP is not looking like a challenger, all of those people have shifted to the Congress.
All of these factors is something that we will talk about, ladies and gentlemen. We've got our entire panel here. We've got many more guests. Plus the numbers, they'll start coming in. There's nowhere else to go. Right here, your election news headquarters, CNN News 18. Stay with us. Namaste, Jai Hind, and welcome to Result Day live here at CNN News 18. I'm Anand Narsuman. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the semi-final before the final. And there is a reason why. Because the results across the 4 big states plus Mizoram will set the tone for the political discourse, narratives, and of course the combinations, permutations, and of course whether or not Prime Minister Narendra Modi continues to be the unchallenged leader. All of these questions will be answered by the ballot box in a short while from now. But what is the big story? The big story is that yes, indeed, it is the semi-final before the final. It's a mega battle between the Congress and the BJP for the heartland of Bharat. That's where this fight is. So let's try and signpost what are the key factors as we set up Result Day live. Here is it in front of you, ladies and gentlemen. Semi-final before the final, and of course you also have the 5 states that will set the stage for 2024. 679 seats that are up for grabs, direct fight between the Congress and the BJP. If you look at the Lok Sabha, nearly 200 seats where it's a direct fight between the Congress and the BJP, and that becomes critical for the resurgence of the Congress post Bharat Jodo and of course Rahul Gandhi, and for the BJP to try and push towards the 333 mark, 330 par, that was outlined one day after the 2019 result. The impact of these elections will be on 83 Lok Sabha seats. Yes, the truth is that so far, Mizoram results will come only on Monday. Today we are going to see the 4 big states. The pollsters have given the Hindi heartland to the BJP, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, and more importantly Chhattisgarh, where it could look like a tight fight. But someone like a Shivraj Singh Chauhan, who about 3.5 months ago had been written off by the pollsters, by the analysts, and said that no, he's going to be decimated. Can he buck an 18-year anti-incumbency? That's the big question. And Bhupesh Baghel, will he, by perhaps the skin of his teeth, is he going to be holding on to Chhattisgarh? A climb down, anti-incumbency, but not enough to oust him. But more importantly, down south in Telangana, next to Karnataka, neighborhood in the neighborhood, success again for the Congress party, a rout for the BRS. That's what the pollsters are saying. A big dent for the ambitions of the BRS and KCR, KTR and K Kavita. Is that what's going to happen? The pollsters are saying yes, that's what's going to happen. But the ballot is cast. The counting is about to begin in a short while from now. It is Result Day live on your election news headquarters, CNN News 18.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी भारी बहुमत से सरकार बनाने जा रही है।
तो एग्जिट पोल चलने दीजिए, लेकिन सरकार हमारी बनेगी भारी बहुमत से।
और अगर हमें नरेंद्र मोदी को दिल्ली में हराना है तो तेलंगाना में केसीआर को पहले हराना होगा।
5 राज्यों में बीजेपी कहीं नहीं आ रही है।
My name is Anand Narsuman, and with me, Rahul Shivshankar, our consulting editor, and Zaka Jacob, who's just going to dash back into the studios any moment now. We'll also go across to our reporters who are joining us bright and early. They are the ones who've gone ahead, street by street, district by district, across the length and breadth of the 4 big states. Pallavi Ghosh is with us. We also have Arunima with us, Payal Mehta, and Sherin. What is the mood across all the counting centers and more importantly, the headquarters? That tends to be an indicative on Result Day Live as to where the wind is blowing. We'll talk about all that. But ladies and gentlemen, focus here. This is the leaderboard and this remains constant right on this battle for the states. Depending upon each state, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, Telangana, as of now, these are the people who are at the helm. But based on how the results are coming across, these colors can change. Madhya Pradesh, it is said that Shivraj Singh Chauhan will retain it. Ashok Gehlot is under the pump and he's already making the kind of noises that come from those who believe that they are done in for as far as the ballot box is concerned, test of the ballot box is concerned. Bhupesh Baghel, quietly confident, but there is a undercurrent within the BJP saying that we could come back as the underdogs and pull it off from somebody who seemed to be, as per the pollsters, coasting to a comfortable victory. And there is trouble for KCR as far as Telangana is concerned. We'll talk about the leaderboard. We'll go across to our reporters, but first a quick word from Rahul Shivshankar.
Hi, good morning viewers. Good morning to you all. And this is going to be one of those big days, isn't it? 5 states, let's not forget Mizoram. There, the Congress will hope to play kingmaker and the BJP will hope to do better. But let's be very honest. The most important battles will be in the heartland and for Telangana. Remember, the Congress doesn't usually do very well against regional parties. So it's going to be fighting not just a formidable adversary in KCR. I don't share, Anand, with you this sort of, what is gaining ground, this opinion that things are just going to be a cakewalk for the Congress. I think it's going to be a very tough fight there. I just feel, and this is something that my gut is sort of telling me, is that it's going to be a very, very tight contest and KCR might actually have the advantage. He might actually come through. His son yesterday tweeted a video of himself shooting an air gun or something like that, saying hat-trick coming. The Congress hasn't done very well, Zaka, against regional parties. So this could be a different sort of an election. And also, of course, you have the 3 other states which are very important, the Hindi heartland states. And if the Congress doesn't really make a significant dent there, and they just squeak past in Chhattisgarh, then it's a problem, isn't it, going into 2024?
The heartland is very, very important for the Congress because, like I've been saying, those 180 seats, Lok Sabha seats, which the BJP won 167 last time around, that's where the Congress needs to start winning. But this is how the magic wall is looking this morning. It's all empty, it's all grey. But in about an hour's time, this will all start filling up in saffron, in blue, in green, all of these colors. So Madhya Pradesh is the biggest prize, of course, 230 seats. The BJP has been in power there since 2003. So 20-year anti-incumbency. Can the Congress beat that? Rajasthan, again, big state, 200 seats. For the last 30 years, it's been alternating between BJP and Congress. Again, it's all empty, it's all grey. From 8 o'clock onwards, you'll start seeing spots of color here on the Rajasthan map. And then, of course, the big prize, Telangana. Big because it's a southern state, it's a big state, it's a financially important state. Let's face it, I mean, you'll all agree that running elections is not an easy thing. You need lots and lots of resources. So for the Congress, this would be an important state. Also, like Rahul said, I can't remember the last time the Congress beat a regional party in any state, southern, northern, wherever. But Telangana, 119 seats. Can the Congress pull off the victory from under the jaws of the BRS, or will it be a third term for KCR? So these are the 3 big states that we'll be looking for. And of course, there's Chhattisgarh.
Zaka has been based on exit polls.
Oh, yeah.
And look, their record has been less than,
Absolutely. It is patchy at best.
It is patchy at best. So I think a lot of things are going to change. And this is not going to be one of those elections that you can call by around 10:30 in the morning. I'll be very surprised, quite frankly, because, there are many rounds and maybe you can just explain to the viewers, because a lot of channels begin to sort of calling things at 9, 9:30, 9:15 and they claim they're the fastest, but that's not quite true
That's not true. In fact, by 9:30 or so, in most constituencies, they would have barely finished the first round of counting. So I'm saying in an hour plus, you would have just seen the first round of counting, perhaps in some constituencies 2 rounds of counting, not more than that. And in an average constituency, in a state assembly election, you're looking at least 20 to 30 rounds, 25 to 30 rounds.
I don't want to talk about practices in other channels, but usually they go on to what is known as manual mode. So what they mean by that is that you keep filling in numbers to get all the viewers hooked. But we all know, and they keep talking about postal ballots as this.
Rahul Babu, party badalni
But actually, to be honest, I'm not naming people, but I know of people in the industry. We've been sort of above board here, and we have a direct line, as you were saying, Zaka, yesterday, and maybe you can just talk.
No, we have the live results hub. We'll do a dip into the live results hub very, very soon. See, during the break, ladies and gentlemen, we did a social media pitch, both me and Rahul, and Zaka had just dashed off somewhere, and that magic wall looked bereft without him. See, with him and the magic pen, that's when that magic wall here at CNN News 18 looks complete. Quickly, let's go across to our reporters, and they are very strategically placed today. So is there a reason why? Do they know something that we don't? Pallavi is in Bhopal outside Kamal Nath's residence. Arunima is in Raipur outside the Congress office. Payal is in Jaipur outside the BJP office. And Sharon is in Delhi at the Congress office. So let's start with Pallavi. Madhya Pradesh, the pollsters have given runaway victory to Shivraj. But you are at Kamal Nath's residence. So is there something else that the pollsters have not read that you have read already, Pallavi?
Because I think it can go any which way. The Congress mood is really upbeat. I mean, just going to take a look around one such poster which has just come outside Kamal Nath's residence. But there have been several posters, LED screens up outside and inside the Congress headquarters. They are absolutely confident. They are packed of 4 observers, Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, all the way from Bengal right over here to Madhya Pradesh. So the Congress is very upbeat, and the reason I'm also standing here is whatever may be the result, Kamal Nath's future will epitomize perhaps a generation change within the Congress party. He's one of those quintessential veteran, old-style politician, but he's also been one man who has shifted his base from Delhi's hustle and bustle politics to right over here in Bhopal. In fact, most of us who've covered the UPA, we've watched Kamal Nath. Everyone thinks he can only do a Delhi-based politics. He was certainly one of the considered one of the very good, efficient ministers, whether as a commerce minister or as a parliamentary affairs minister. And one thing which always went in his favor was he had good personal equations with political parties across board. But for that man to shift base over here, there's a lot at stake.
Right. It is also convenient for Pallavi because Kamal Nath and Shivraj Singh Chauhan are neighbors. So it's not that it's going. Yeah, right. It's not that she needs to move too much. It's a shift of the camera, and then she will be outside Shivraj Singh Chauhan.
That's why it was so easy for them also to change their chief ministerial post, I think.
Chief ministerial post.
Just in 20 odd people came across, and you
wonder what the next door neighbors are talking to each other, and wonder what the conversations are on Pallavi's chat groups. So that would be
you should tell our viewers this standing outside which leader's house on counting day morning is a mug's game. Anand has a very nice story. I think it was the 2016 election, Tamil Nadu election. We were both there in 2 different ends. I was in one leader's house, he was in another leader's house. You should tell the viewers that story. It's a fascinating
that's
story.
Interesting. At that time, we were in different channels. He was here, I was elsewhere. But I was standing outside Jayalalitha's residence early in the morning. I was the only guy standing there. He knows it too.
I know.
Rahul Shiv Shankar knows it too, and he was wondering, why are you going there? I said, no, I'm going to stand here. And within about 2 hours, everybody was standing here because everybody thought DMK is taking it. By the time the results started coming in, it went in Amma's favor. So that doesn't matter. But in places like Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan and in Madhya Pradesh, it does matter. Arunima, in Raipur, you are outside the Congress office. Where is Mr. Bhupesh Baghel? Is there a quiet confidence or a far greater confidence within the Congress party? Because a lot of people are wanting to believe that Chhattisgarh phasega. Nobody will be past the post, or they'll all be closer, and then it will be all drama.
Congress is being very cautious here at the PCC Raipur. All you can see is that cleaning operations going on. There are workers who are just cleaning it. Other than that, hardly any leader, hardly any presence. Kumari Shailaja is here. She's the one in charge of Chhattisgarh Congress. Ajay Makan landed late last night. Bhupesh Baghel himself has been speaking to all his representatives across the state, but he has locked himself up in his house, not really speaking to the media, not taking any questions, making it very clear that only once there is clarity in the results, maybe post 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, will he step out. On the other hand, the Bharatiya Janata Party is more open. I could get a word with Arun Sao, the BJP state president. Dr. Raman Singh also was willing to meet and share his views. They seem confident that the momentum is with them. And why are they saying it? Because they're saying that if you look at Sarguja, which is T.S. Singhdeo's bastion, there seems to be a consensus that massive damage has been done to Congress's prospects there. Bilaspur, all the scheduled caste seats there going in the BJP's kitty. Even in Bastar, they're saying up to 7 to 8 minimum will be in BJP's kitty out of the 20 seats there. So they feel that the momentum is with them. The final numbers, the BJP is saying at worst they will come to 46, which is just the magic mark. The Congress, even though they are confident that they will form the government, they are unsure about the numbers, and that is why perhaps they are waiting and taking their time before any of their leaders get out out and speak to the media.
Quite a different tone than what it was just about 2.5 to 3 months ago, both in Chhattisgarh and in Madhya Pradesh, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see which way the wind goes as far as the ballot boxes once the counting gets underway. That should be in a short while from now. Payal, I know I'm testing your patience, but please bear with me. There's some activity that's happening at the Congress headquarters with Sharon. So quickly going across there and then come to you in Jaipur for a conversation. Sharon, a lot of activity behind you. Congress party kafi headquarters in Delhi. Halchal, are they confident of at least 2, if not 3?
Well, they are confident of 3 is what the senior Congress leaders have in fact been telling us. But I want to show you the color, the celebration outside the Congress headquarters, which has already started. Right behind me is Lord Ram, who is in fact sitting with the Congress workers. On my right side, there is in fact dhol and nagadas, which are already playing. I asked my camera person to show you. There are full-fledged celebration that is in fact going on here. The Congress workers are very confident that they are going to bag at least 3 states out of the 4 states that are going into counting today. Let me speak to some of the Congress workers who have joined here. आप लोगों का तो celebration अभी से start हो गया है, क्या है? मतलब जीत जाएंगे? जीत पक्की है इस बार। जीत पक्की है? काउंटिंग तो start हुई नहीं है, उससे पहले ही आपको लगता है?
सारा confidence है, जीत का पक्का और जीतेंगे।
And I also want to show you these instruments, the dhols that I have in fact kept over here. And any point they have in fact been saying, the moment the counting starts, they will continue. And let me speak, जगदीश जी, आप हमेशा कुछ अलग तरीके का यहाँ पे सपोर्टर्स लाते हैं. इस बार 1 घंटा 2 घंटा पहले काउंटिंग से आप यहाँ पे सेलिब्रेशन स्टार्ट हो गया.
देखिए, सेलिब्रेशन इसलिए करना पड़ा क्योंकि एग्जिट पोल जो प्रायोजित कार्यक्रम है उसका विरोध करना जरूरी है. हम 500 राज्यों में जीत रहे हैं, लेकिन कहीं हार रहे हैं, कहीं जीता दिखा रहे हैं. ये सरकार द्वारा क्या प्रायोजित कार्यक्रम है. हमें पता है कि हमने पेपर अच्छा दिया है, या तो आईएएस बनेंगे ना आईपीएस बनेंगे, दानिश नहीं बनेंगे.
रिजेक्ट कर रहा है कांग्रेस वर्कर्स, रिजेक्ट कर रहे हैं एग्जिट पोल.
बिल्कुल रिजेक्ट कर रहा है, नकली है. क्योंकि देश, जनता, किसान, महिला, मजदूर, कुली, ड्राइवर, जबकि भगवान राम भी राहुल गांधी के साथ हैं. ये सोचना पड़ेगा.
It's so heartening to see that a party whose allies actually advocated that there is no Ram today is saying Jai Shri Ram. So that's a big turnaround that's happened in about 15 years. Payal Mehta is in Jaipur. Payal, Rajasthan was going into the Congress kitty, but you are at the BJP office. Madhya Pradesh was supposed to be swinging towards the BJP, but Pallavi is at Kamal Nath's residence. So what's happening, ladies? What is happening?
It's a rather quiet morning over here because people are waiting for the counting to begin because the leaders had a lot of work last night. Arjuna Meghwal flew in for at least a couple of hours, Anand, just to come to Jaipur. Gajendra Shekhawat also the same. They had all the phone lines working last night is what I'm given to understand, because remember, even though it's a battle between Jadugar versus Maharani, whoever wears the Taj of Rajasthan, but most importantly, there could be party spoilers, there could be party poopers in over here. If the number of independent MLAs rise like Rajasthan already has an history of, then probably trouble could be there, and that's one of the reasons the top leaders of the BJP are already in touch with the rebel. There were a number of rebel candidates who did not get tickets from the BJP. They are in touch with them. It's a very, very important state as far as the fortunes of the BJP is concerned. The BJP has constantly, riled up Ashok Gehlot, riled up the Sachin Pilot episode. And I've really gone ahead and said that, this is a state where the BJP needs to come into power because there's no safety for women, there's paper leaks, so all of these issues have been there. Extensive campaigning by Prime Minister Narendra Modi himself, Amit Shah, JP Nadda amongst the others. It's result time today. Even though, Anand, very importantly, that the BJP has not declared a chief ministerial face over here, there is no sitting chief minister yet. Right. The BJP is very confident that under their, collective leadership, they will be able to, win Rajasthan. But if at all the situation arises, then who comes to the party. It's going to be Vasundhara Raje Scindia.
Well, if the
given her experience with the state and given her experience.
Well, so is Payal letting us in on another secret, and was that why the reason we saw only Rani Sahiba doing the temple runs on the eve of the ballot boxes being counted? We'll have to wait and watch, ladies and gentlemen, but it's a phenomenal team of reporters. You watch the clock right above me. There is a countdown that's going on. It's about 42 minutes before counting gets underway. At about 41 minutes, we'll have to take a break. So let's give the last 90 seconds to Arun Danta at the BJP headquarters. What is happening there? वहाँ कांग्रेस के वहाँ तो डांस ढोल शुरू हो गया है. बीजेपी हेडक्वार्टर्स में क्या हो रहा है? द नेशनल कैपिटल, अरुण.
Well, Anand, as of now, there is no activity in the BJP office, and that's how it has been, because I've covered multiple elections here at BJP office. They start a little late. Right now I'm just standing inside that place which they have actually made for the lives where their spokespersons will sit. But otherwise, as of now, as far as preparation is concerned, there is nothing. Perhaps once the initial trends will be out, when they will be confident, perhaps then we'll see some sort of preparations going on. And of course, we have seen over the years here that how things happen. If BJP performs well, if they win elections, then Prime Minister Modi, would come here in the BJP office, and then we will see the barrage of BJP supporters coming here, and Prime Minister Modi, of course, thanking them. So we'll